No drums. Before I use the drum, I try to heat it on a heater. And so it's a little hard to do a drumming thing without the drum. So this is a call and response, and I hope when I call you'll respond. And don't worry about what you sound like. You know, just even if you say the response quietly, it doesn't matter. Oh, Great Spirit, the earth is sacred, every tree, every shore, every mist in the forest brings us peace. Evermore, we are part of the earth, and the earth is part of us. Grant us strength to do our share as keepers of the earth. You did not weave the web. You are merely a strand. What you do to the web, you do to all life. You may think you own the land. You do not. It is God's. Save the land for our children as keepers of the earth, as keepers of the earth. Oh, Great Spirit, hear our prayer. Make me aware. Oh, Great Spirit, hear our prayer. Make me aware. Make me aware. Hi-ya, hi-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya. Hi-ya, hi-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya. Hi-ya, hi-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya. hey. Try it with me, and it's very freeing. So don't worry about what you sound like or just feel it. Hi-ya, hi-ya, hey-ya, hey-ya, 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 ho! You are awesome. Just feel the presence in this room, and we're going to be hearing Jack speak in just a few minutes. Well, I think it's going to be Shad, and our son Shad is visiting. It's also an awesome experience to have him. And just feel the presence in this room. We are all connected to all of life, and we honor it. We honor it with respect, caring for it, taking care of it, nurturing our planet. We are so blessed to be part of this wonderful creation. And we are so thankful for all the friends that we have, for the pets, for all of life. We appreciate the music of the birds, the smell of the plants, the life that has been put on this planet for us to make a better life for us, healthy, connected to the oneness. We feel this presence in everything we do. We are so guided. When we sit down and meditate at least 10 minutes every day, we connect to that silence that is guiding us. That's why we're here, to be channels of blessings on this path called life, to share our understanding with others by example, by kindness. We thank you for our relatives. We thank you for our children, our parents, our aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, healthy bodies to do what we're here to do. We feel the presence. We feel the oneness with all life. Hey-ya, 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 ho.
Good morning, everyone. You see me standing. That's an inclination. Something is telling you that this is going to be a different service. And it is, because I'm not going to be speaking here this morning at this service. But I have a guest speaker that can fill in perfectly for me In fact, he carries my genetic elements to the stage this morning.
So you say.
So I say, unless along the way something extraordinarily strange has happened, he's still my son. And I so appreciate him. And I can only say this about him, along with my other children. They grew up when we were involved in teaching them and bringing them to understand the necessity to meditate and to be a free thinker. That is, to check within yourself what feels right to you. And that you have to live for, and you have to allow to guide you, and you have to stay with if you expect to find a life truly worth living. It's the only thing we ever teach here at Unity. You ultimately have this divine intelligence, this incredible love we recognize to be God within you. And in Unity, we're simply trying to inspire people to go within on a daily basis, meditation, and discover how to bring this forth in expression in your life. And I'm happy to say my son, my daughter, of course my wife, we have lived from that truth of inner guidance. So this morning, it's your opportunity to listen to somebody who grew up with meditation. My son, Shad Groverland.
Okay. Didn't leave me anything to talk about, as per usual. Try not to light my hair on fire. This happens to be my 30th high school reunion from Boulder High I came in town for. And I thought it was my 20th all the way up until pretty much I arrived at it, only to find out in shock it was my 30th. So if you ever had that experience of time travel, I lost 10 years somewhere. So my voice is a little bit raspy because we were at the Rio. It's quite loud. There was 70 of us having a great time talking. And but I just want to share a little bit of the insights, the journey, the experience on this path. If we want to bring up the first slide. Do you have a right to be healthy? There's a lot of talk about health in the world today for a very good reason. Let's go to the next slide. I want to get through this because I don't want to take too long. I want to give us enough time to meditate. So you might immediately think, yeah, I have a right to be healthy, but who determines if you are healthy or not, or get to be healthy or not? I think we take for granted a lot of assumptions about our own autonomy, our own right, our own connection, our own body. And we don't necessarily stop to think into what does that actually mean. Let's go to our next slide. 7 in 10 Americans are on prescription drugs. 7 in 10. Surely they might be used for prescription drugs, but 7 out of 10 aren't needing them. Let's go to the next one. Cancer among young adults has risen by 79% in recent decades, despite increasing healthcare spending. Let's go to the next one. Medical care costs are the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States, accounting for about 60% of all bankruptcy cases. Just in the effort of someone trying to become healthy, they fall into bankruptcy. That, to me, is such an indicator that something is horrifically broken. Something has gone grossly astray. You'd assume, oh, bankruptcy, let's see, the stereotypical thoughts. Maybe they have a gambling problem. They over-leveraged themselves with credit cards. They bought a house that was too big. They were just loose with their money. No, the leading cause of bankruptcy is someone who was trying to become well. Let's go to the next slide. 6 in 10 adults in the United States are living with chronic illness. 42% have 2 or more, 12% have at least 5. Does that hit you the way it hits me? Does that just hit you in the heart that so many of us are simply trying to have a body that functions, let alone all the other blessings and things we look for in life, but to just simply have this vessel function? Go to the next slide. As a human family, we're not healthy. And we can go into a lot of different areas of how we want to define health, what that means. But if we just take the broad generalization of that, the physical health, the mental health, I don't think it takes really any polling, statistics, or scientists to sit down and say, you know what? We're sick. We're not well. Something has gone astray. People are unnecessarily suffering. For what? Let's go to the next slide. When you don't have health, it is very difficult to focus on anything else. Has anyone else experienced that? I like to use the example of if you have food poisoning and you try to sit down and meditate, good luck with that. People talk about, well, the body, I want to overcome the body and this and that. And you realize if the body isn't at least at a baseline of some sort of health, everything else in life falls secondary, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 100th down the line. If that health isn't there for you, so much of it falls away, the things that truly matter in life. It's fascinating that health is somewhat the great leveler. Doesn't matter your income class, doesn't matter your origin, your culture. When we don't have health, we equally are suffering. And when we have health, we equally have access to more mental space to find joy. I'll put it that way. Go ahead to the next slide. The systems of ego power have convinced us we are broken and only they can fix us. I wanted to say power, but I decided to say ego power because they don't truly have power. They just have the power of the ego. And these systems built on the power of the ego therefore have ego ends in mind, ego goals. They are ego-driven. The thing that's difficult for us to come to terms with, and I'll speak for myself, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but I've seen it in others, is there are wonderful, beautiful, amazing, miraculous people working in systems that are ego-driven and built on toxicity. Wonderful, beautiful, amazing, miraculous people can be doing the absolute best they can in a system that ultimately does harm. In a system that ultimately does not have our best interests at heart. And so for us as human beings, when we try to evaluate the world around us, it's easier for us to think of a person, to correlate to a person. And when we say, well, I know this person in that industry, and they are a wonderful person. Ergo, that can't be a bad system. And you see that all the time. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. But it is absolutely possible, and it is absolutely happening all the time, that wonderful, beautiful, well-intentioned people are working in a system that does not have our best interests at heart. It's like if you had a 50-story building with hundreds and hundreds of rooms in it. And you could go in and remodel one of those rooms to be the most beautiful, luxurious rooms you could imagine. If the foundation of that building is crumbling, it's all doomed to fail. Does that make sense? It doesn't matter how much effort you put into that unit on the 30th floor. and you have your best intentions, and it's the safest, most healthy, it's got the most beautiful environment and music, if the foundation of that building is failing or it's built on corruption, the whole system's doomed to fail. And so it's hard for us to step back and sort of look at this larger picture and understand that even we ourselves are beautiful, wonderful people that have chosen to be part of systems that can ultimately be doing more harm than good. Let's see this next slide. Oh, that's right. It's on the reflection behind me. Inalienable rights. Interesting term that popped into my head this morning. So I looked up, what exactly does that mean? Personal rights held by an individual which are not bestowed by law. I didn't know we had such rights. Custom or belief, and which cannot be taken or given away or transferred to another person. Let's go to the next slide. The U.S. Constitution recognized that certain universal rights cannot be taken away by legislation as they are beyond the control of a government, being naturally given to every individual at birth, that these rights are retained throughout life. Is that still true today?
No. Has it ever been true?
Has it ever been true? Let's go to the next slide. Ultimately, the only thing I could truly understand as an inalienable right is the rights given to us by God. If they're at birth, then there has to be something that, before birth, bestowed a right upon something that exists at birth. Inalienable rights. Next slide. So is healing an inalienable right? What do you think?
Yes.
I hear some yes. Do you think in the world today healing is an inalienable right?
It depends. It's about access.
It's a lot about access. It depends. It's a lot about the systems that you are circling in. It's a lot about the people you surround yourself with. Let's go to the next slide. Over time, gradually, we are giving over our God-given rights to the ego power systems. Small systems of family and friend systems, large systems, corporations, governments, machines. And you see an interesting split in society over whether it's these systems' responsibility to take care of me, or whether it's my responsibility to take care of myself. Or is it my responsibility to take care of the people around me, or is it the system's responsibility to take care of the people around me? And it's convenient and nice to think that we could hand over our rights, our health, the things that can be difficult, to a system to take care of for us. I mean, that's a wonderful idea. Wouldn't that be great? Just take the hard parts of life, parts that might be difficult, the parts that maybe were even put here on purpose for me to go through, and just take care of them for me. If something else could please just take care of those for me so I can go on to do the things I would like to be doing with my time and energy, wouldn't that be fantastic? But has that ever actually worked? Have we ever gotten to hand over our responsibility as a human, as a culture, as a familial system to something else to do it for us, and had that successfully work? Maybe. I'm not a historian. I'm not even really that smart to begin with, period. I didn't even know it was my 30th high school reunion, so that establishes something. Let's go to the next slide. Do we all know who Myrtle Fillmore is? If you don't, Myrtle and Charles Fillmore are the co-founders of Unity, the faith in which we sit today. back in 1893. And they came to create this faith, this religion, this organization, whatever you choose to call it, based on this realization that she had. I am a child of God, and therefore I do not inherit sickness. It's interesting that she uses I twice. One, she's honoring and recognizing her innate, inalienable right. And two, she's claiming it as hers. In no way does she put the responsibility of it on anyone else, any other system, organization. I am a child of God. She's therefore realizing, I have to remember, I have to realize, I have to enact, I have to do something to come back to the realization that I am a child of God. And ergo, if I can get my consciousness back into that space, I do not inherit sickness. It is not a part of my life. What really you have here is a twofold system. First, I have to come back into the realization that I am a child of God, not that I think I'm a child of God, or I suppose I'm a child of God, or once in a while I remember a child of God, that I actually know I am a child of God in every single waking moment of my life and sleeping moment, because you're going to have to address the subconscious as well, that I am a child of God, and if that is true, and it is true, therefore, I do not inherit sickness. I'm not a sick person. I am not a broken person. I am not a flawed person. I only think I am because they forgot part one, that I am a child of God. This is such a powerful and beautiful statement. There is so much you could do with this statement. You could unpack this for weeks. And that's why it was powerful enough to actually spark an entire movement called Unity. But we have grossly drifted away from the realization that she had hundreds of years ago. And yet we've repeated it time and time and time again. And now we sit at the back end of a wonderful opportunity that she handed to us, completely ignoring the realization that she had, trying to remind us, we are in fact children of God. Let's go to the next slide, please. B.J. Palmer is the founder, he's the torchbearer of modern chiropractic. His father, D.D. Palmer, came up with chiropractic. He, being the son, took that torch and ran with it and helped make it what it is today. And he said the power that made the body heals the body. My brother and I are starting a new nonprofit. We've been doing a lot of research into natural healing and holistic healing, the healing that we grew up with exclusively. We never went to doctors unless we had to get a sports physical to be able to play soccer, or one of us shattered a bone skiing, and thankfully doctors were there for that. But that was the only time we ever went. Our children not born in hospitals. And you realize if this is true, there shouldn't be a whole lot of things I need to go through life as a healthy being. The fascinating thing about chiropractic, which we didn't learn until this year, even though we were raised on chiropractic, is that chiropractic is designed around the idea that a chiropractor is not a healer. They're just simply realigning the antenna of your body to resonate with the healing that God already has intended for you. The power that made the body heals the body. And they talk a lot about in chiropractic that power has never left you, has never abandoned you. It is still there, waiting to heal through you. Go to the next slide. So my parents, Jack and Norma Groverland, if you were to sum up a lot of the big things they taught us as children, we didn't raise you to fit in or blindly listen to authority. God is your only true authority, and your intuition, your Christ consciousness, is how you hear God's guidance. When you grow up with that, and you become an adult, you're faced with a harsh realization that not a lot of people got that message. In fact, they were raised, unfortunately, to believe that there are systems out there that you're going to have to be a part of in order to find joy, health, peace, community, family, and you'll have to be a part of these systems, but they're the only route you have to moving forward in life. And that's just the way life is. It's just the way it is. You're just going to have to accept it. And these systems are designed to keep you in them because that's how they keep working. And when people start stepping out of those systems, they fail, and those systems will work even harder to corral you back in. And we saw that, and it's shocking to go out into the world realizing that other children that have this blessing of recognizing that there doesn't have to be anything in between you and your healing and your peace and your joy and your prosperity and your abundance and your relationships. Everything that set you up for success was there the moment you were born, and it never left you. But if you buy into the systems, you buy into the world of distraction, you will fall out of that knowing quite quickly. Or it'll be programmed out of you by the systems from birth. If your parents, who were beautiful, miraculous people doing the best they could, they themselves were in those systems. So my brother and I, upon this realization, decided to start a new company to do our best to let people know that they can heal, that God did not leave them, and that there are healing arts out there that are made to support this natural system you were born with instead of working against it or trying to surpass it or to profit from it. So I'm going to share this little video we made to just sort of express our experience in this company we're working on together. If you want to play that. advance on to the next slide. Go one more. You have a right to health. But more importantly, you have a right to wholeness. Health is just a tiny little step on the path to wholeness, but if you're not part of systems that believe in the wholeness of you, that you are a soul, you are something more beyond this body, you are not just a physical machine. You're a part of this greater intelligence that built this entire system, that designed you for vitality. If you're not a part of systems that believe in that, they're not treating the whole of you. But there are systems that were put here and have been here for thousands of years that were designed to work with that system, at least as we see it. Let's go to the next slide. But if you physically and mentally continue to give your power, your rights away to ego systems, you will live confined within those systems. This is something my wife and I have been really trying to wrap our heads around right now. One is, how do we get off of Google? It's everything, everywhere in this world. We don't feel good about what Google's doing. How do we get off of Google? It's a part of every search engine. My phone's currently running on it, wherever it is in the office. Our email. And so we're looking into, are there smaller companies that have a different belief system that are making cell phones? And there are. Are there companies that believe in the wholeness of our being, that aren't trying to strip us of our rights and our well-being for their own profit? And there actually are. In every avenue you can imagine, there are great people creating new systems. And so we're looking about how we can put more energy and effort into these systems that are trying to grow the wellness of all of us, instead of stripping us from our greatness. So bring up this last slide. Oh. Myrtle was so awesome because she liked to ruffle feathers. She did not like to give us a bypass, to let us get around the difficult stuff. She'd love to just stick it right to us and call it like it was. You do not have a problem except the one that is in your own mind, and you put it there. We can sit back and complain systems and complain governments and complain about things. But ultimately, our belief about the world is what's creating the world. Our belief about health is what is creating health. Our belief about our family is what's creating our family. And the beautiful thing about unity is that we put the power right back into our own hands. We have the power to do something about the things that don't seem right. And we can make choices to do things a different way. And one of the most powerful tools in doing that is meditation, which is why we are here this morning. So why don't we do some of that together? I invite you to get into whatever posture works for you. I've found, and others with great wisdom have found, that you want to keep the spine straight. If you need back support, go ahead and use it. If you have the ability to sit away from the back of the pew and maybe get your spine straight so it's more supported towards the front of the pew because they're raked back, which pushes you back. You want to find that spot where you can find the center of balance on the tailbone to the top of the head, but you're not having to fight it in either direction. Cross-legged, feet on the floor, doesn't really matter. You probably have a position where you can lock into that space without consciously battling your body. Has anyone had to battle their body in meditation? Boy, I am tired of it. Something itches, something twitches, something hurts. The longer you meditate, the more your body says, can we go do something else? And that's part of the practice, to push through these systems, even within ourselves, that have gotten distracted. So if you're comfortable, you can close your eyes. I want you to roll your shoulders just to check in for any tension, then allow them to just drop and relax. But find a spot where your chest is wide open and your shoulders are not collapsing forward, but you're allowing easy breath, easy flow from tailbone to top of the head. Allow yourself to slow down your breath. And for the next 3 breaths, make each one slower than the last. Allow yourself to feel a straightening of the spine, as if your head is traveling a little bit upwards from the tailbone. That you are not this small little body, but that you expand upwards and in all directions. When you close the eyes and you take your attention away from the 5 physical senses. And we'll take time in silence. And you'll hear noises in the room. You'll feel sensations in your body. You'll have thoughts come and go. You'll have experiences that, if you allow the mind to analyze, they'll say they're distractions. But today is an opportunity to recognize that they're actually a blessing. Each thing we might have before thought of as a distraction, I invite you to see it as a reminder to get focused again. If you hear a sound and it drags your attention, that was a tool sent by God to refocus. If there's a pain in the body or discomfort with the position, that's a tool sent by God to refocus your attention back on God. And I invite you through any meditation you have where distraction comes, see it not as a distraction, but a tool to help you remember to refocus. Take another nice, deep, slow breath, and then allow yourself to slip into the silence. as we bring our awareness back to this time and space. We hold on to the truth that it's not the length of the meditation, but the depth. And any experience we've had is the experience we were supposed to have. And like any muscle, practice makes perfect. So I invite you to commit to yourself to try to hold on to this peace for the rest of the day. Maybe even into tomorrow. If you want a true challenge, try to hold it for the rest of the week. The stillness, the calm, the wholeness. Thank you, God, for giving us this time and space, this beautiful community, these like-minded individuals on the path, sharing this experience with us. We send light and love to all those in the positions of power in the ego systems to open their hearts and minds, to send a ripple, a wave of light and love to their communities as we do the same to ours. And so it is. Amen.
Well, thank you, Shad, for bringing us to that most important experience in meditation. And so now we have the opportunity to give back, support Unity of Boulder, which is where we find those insights we need to lift our understanding to the higher life that Shad is talking about. And you're going to be hearing more and more about that as we go along. And so everyone that's watching online, we invite you, you're tuning in, to try to gain some insights in how to live your life more effectively, more beautifully, more spiritually, joyfully. Well, if you're tuning in to do that, then you should really be willing to give back something to Unity of Boulder so that we can continue to do the work that we do here. So I invite you to do that. And now everyone here can bring into their hands those gifts you'd like to make today to support Unity of Boulder. And let's bless these gifts with this offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is. I just want to remind you while we're taking this offering that we will have our discussion group, which we have after the first service and also after the second service. But after the first service we meet and you can discuss anything, bring up anything you want to bring up at this discussion group, which is taking place in the bookstore. So you go through these doors to your left into the bookstore. There's another room that has chairs circled up, and we can discuss anything. Okay? Well, I'm just inviting everybody who wants to join us for that discussion in the bookstore through these doors to your left. We also have refreshments if you just want to stay, hang out, meet some of the people that are sharing unity with you through these doors to your right. And the next service will be guided by a guest speaker. Santisha will not be speaking, but she has a wonderful gentleman who'll be sharing the truth with you as he understands it. And it's so beautiful to have the different elements come together, share the truth in such a way that we get that we're all part of that truth that is being shared in Unity of Boulder all the time. So thank you for coming. Will you join me now to bless this offering? We dedicate this tithe to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth, the Spirit available to each of us, the Spirit that joins all of us. We dedicate this tithe to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen.
There is so much love around us. If we just open up our heart, it's waiting to come in. It's waiting to come in. There is so much love around us. If we just open up our heart, it's waiting to come in. It's waiting to come in now.